Picture this for a moment. You're walking peacefully on an isolated Scottish beach with your dog, enjoying an ordinary Saturday, when suddenly you come face to face with something that will haunt you for the rest of your life. A massive creature, completely headless, as if someone or something had ripped its head off in a brutal and precise manner. This isn't science fiction, folks. This happened recently at Ardere Beach in Scotland, and so far nobody has been able to explain what really happened there. The discovery was made by Louise Joyce, a 56-year-old woman, who was walking with her dog Willow alongside a friend on a Saturday morning. But you won't believe what happened first. Before she even got close to the creature, she saw a man approaching with 2 walking sticks in his hands. And you know what this guy did? He simply poked the creature with one of the walking sticks and kept walking, as if it were the most normal thing in the world. Louise and her friend approached, thinking it was just a large eel that had washed up on the beach. But when they got closer, they realized they were looking at something much more sinister and mysterious. The creature hadn't just lost its head, it had been removed with almost surgical precision. But here's the most disturbing detail. It wasn't just the head that had disappeared. The creature's stomach had also been completely removed, as if someone or something had specifically selected these body parts. The scales were perfect, with markings and coloration that definitely didn't belong to any animal native to the region. Louise described her reaction with a phrase that gave me chills. "My God, you think you've seen everything in life." But this is where the story gets really strange. Ardere Beach isn't an ordinary beach, it's a remote area, far from conventional tourist routes, mainly frequented by naturists. It's the kind of place where you can spend hours without encountering a living soul. So how did a creature of this size appear there? And more importantly, who or what removed its head and stomach with such precision? Louise immediately posted the photos on social media, and what happened next was chaotic. Local residents were completely divided. Some swore it was a giant eel, others insisted it was definitely a snake. But they all agreed on one thing: they had never seen anything like it in that region. The first theories that circulated were even more disturbing. Some suggested rituals, others talked about scientific experiments gone wrong, others that another marine creature could have caused this. But when experts were finally called in to investigate, the answers they gave were even more confusing than the conspiracy theories. But before I reveal what the experts discovered about this mysterious creature, if you're enjoying this mystery as much as I am, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, because I guarantee you won't want to miss what's coming next. The experts from the UK's Marine Animal Stranding Investigation Program were the first to rule out that it was a marine animal. Nick Davison and Rob Devil were categorical. It definitely wasn't a marine species. But then Angela Julian, coordinator of the UK's amphibian and reptile groups, dropped information that completely changed the direction of the investigation. She confirmed that the creature had dorsal and ventral scales typical of snakes, and from analyzing the physical characteristics, she believes it was a female. But here's the problem: it was too big to be any species native to Scotland. In her words, the size of a python. That's when Chris Newman, from the National Center for Reptile Welfare, made a statement that left everyone in shock. He said that although it was difficult to determine the exact species without the head, he had a strong suspicion of what it could be: a reticulated python. Folks, you need to understand what this means. The reticulated python is the longest snake species in the world. These creatures can exceed 23 feet in length. They're non-venomous predators that kill their prey by constriction, basically crushing their victims to death. And here's the most terrifying detail: they're one of the few snake species in the world known to attack humans, although these attacks are rare. The problem is that these snakes are native to Southeast Asia. So what was a creature like this doing on a remote beach in Scotland? But the Scottish Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals has a completely different theory. They believe the creature could be an adult boa constrictor, which is native to South America. This leaves us with an even bigger mystery. If experts can't even agree on what type of snake it was, how the hell did it get there? Chris Newman presented some theories that are both fascinating and disturbing. The first theory is relatively simple. Someone had this snake as a pet, it died, and the person simply threw it in the sea or a river to get rid of the problem. He mentions this has happened before. In early 2024, a large python was found in a river, and they suspect that's exactly what happened. But the second theory is much more sinister and involves merchant ships and international laws. There are certain snake species that are legally protected by the FODE, Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. Imagine this situation. A cargo ship coming from Asia is transporting these snakes as food. Yes, in many Asian countries, snakes are considered culinary delicacies. But when the ship is approaching a British port, the crew realizes that if they arrive with these protected animals, even if partially consumed, they could face hefty fines or even prison. So what do? They dump the remains in the sea before reaching port. Newman said this doesn't happen infrequently, meaning it might be more common than we imagine. But here's what intrigues me most about this whole story. If it really was discarded from a ship, who or what specifically removed the head and stomach? Could it have been some marine predator that attacked the already dead body? Or was there something more sinister happening? Did you know that sharks, for example, are known to attack prey in very specific ways? Some species of tiger sharks are capable of decapitating large marine prey with surgical precision. But would a shark attack a giant snake? Or maybe, and this is a possibility that gives me chills, the head was intentionally removed by humans before the body was discarded. Perhaps to remove evidence, or to hide marks that could identify the exact species. The North Ayrshire Council, the local authority, confirmed something important. The animal was found on a part of the beach that isn't public land. They contacted the landowner, but so far no additional information has been revealed. This raises even more questions. Does the landowner know something? Could this not have been the first strange creature to appear in that area? The reality is that this case exposes a much bigger problem than just a dead snake on a beach. We're talking about possible illegal trade in exotic animals, irresponsible disposal of pets, or even criminal activities involving protected species. And the most frightening thing is to think, if this snake made it there, how many other exotic creatures are being dumped in our oceans without us knowing? How many other mysteries like this are happening on remote beaches around the world? Louise Joyce certainly didn't expect to find something like this when she went out to walk her dog that Saturday. She probably thought it would be just another normal day at the beach. But she ended up stumbling upon something that could be evidence of international environmental crimes. The most frustrating thing is that, even with all the technology and knowledge we have today, there are still so many unanswered questions. How did this creature really die? Who or what removed its head and stomach? How did it end up on such a remote beach in Scotland? And here's my final question for you. What do you think really happened? Do you believe the cargo ship theory that dumped the remains? Or do you think there's something more sinister behind this story? And most importantly, what could have attacked a snake this size so precisely to remove only the head and stomach? The truth is, this mystery from the Scottish coast shows us that our world still holds secrets that can appear on any ordinary Saturday walk. Sometimes the most incredible discoveries happen when we least expect them, in the most remote places, reminding us that there's still so much we don't know about what's happening right under our noses. If you found this mystery as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more incredible stories like this one. And don't miss the special bonus video I've left for you on the end screen. You won't want to miss what I've prepared for you there.